Jim Carrey's an unbelievable actor. He can turn it on like that. And he wells up at the window. And Harry's like, okay, get over here, let's do it. And they go. Well, the studio called us when they saw the dailies, said, get rid of that shit, that's horrible. I was like, what? They said, this is a comedy, you don't want that, that's like corny. I said, in 2 minutes, he's selling a dead bird to a blind kid in a wheelchair.
That's fine.
You better like him. You better like this guy, or the movie's over at that point. And you do like him from that little moment. It's like, the TV show Eastbound and Down. That guy's a total asshole, right? But in the pilot episode, he's mean to everybody. He's racist, he's, misogynist, he's everything bad about him. But they show him, he gets in bed one night, and he's at his sister's house, and he's been yelling at everybody, picking on the kids and everything. He lies in bed, and all of a sudden he goes, and he goes to pieces. And you think, okay, there's a lot of pain in this guy, I'll stick with him. And that's why you stay with that asshole for so long, because of moments like that.
Let's hear for Peter.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
You are attached to many different things in this industry, and one of them is Seinfeld. Now, how are you connected with Seinfeld? Because that was before they did the TV show, right?
Right. No, it was when
they started doing it.
Yes. Well, when Seinfeld came on, that was the hottest TV show of all time at that time. Anybody that we were like, this is just groundbreaking TV.
Right. It is.
It's some people still consider it the best TV show of all time, and it could be. It's that good.
How were you involved with that?
Well, we were writing, and we were writing movie after movie, but we loved that show, so we asked to go in and pitch some ideas to them, and our agent got us in the door, and we pitched, and we sold the Virgin episode, which precedes the masturbation episode. It kind of leads into that, and we sold a couple other episodes, and but they didn't hire us on staff, and we were devastated. We were like, we wanted to be on that more. That would have been like.
The dream job.
Yeah, well, it was the hottest, it was the hottest show ever. And we wanted that more than anything, but we didn't get it. And then a year later, we're making Dumb and Dumber. And, thank God we didn't get that. Because then I wouldn't be making movies. I'd probably be doing, I would have gone down that TV road.
Yeah, you never know when something bad happens that is actually something good.
Well, that's the other thing. This is the other thing I always believe is try to get what you think is right. But if you don't get it, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Like, Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey, honestly, was the 150th person we offered the script to. And everybody passed.
Everybody.
Every single guy. Guys on commercials who nobody had ever heard of, we were like, what about that guy? And we just liked his look, and he passed. I'm like, how the fuck can this commercial guy be passing it?
Commercial people are passing.
It was unbelievable. And then we got Jim Carrey, and he was the perfect guy. So sometimes, if you don't get everything you want, the universe gets to do a little work. And sometimes it's better than you could have thought of. You're not, I know I'm not, I can't figure everything out. You think you can, you think you want everything, but sometimes, screw it up so that something better happens. Or don't worry about it if you don't get that thing, because maybe there's saying, look, just calm down. We're going to be right back at you with something better. Seriously. And that's what's happened to me a lot. And so actually I got to the point where when people would pass on a script, I was thinking, fine, I don't care. It's like, I know we're going to get something better. But then the universe fucked me over a couple times. And I never didn't. I was like, what the fuck? That wasn't better than that, So I went back to really pushing, come on, do this move. Vigo didn't want to do it. I had to talk him into it.
That's right. Now, that is one of the most incredible performances. Let's say for Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
That has to be the strangest casting, to think that he could do that. How did you feel that? I mean, he was brilliant in it, but how did you think that he could play?
I think any good actor can play any role. That's what I always think. And I always thought that from the beginning with Jeff Daniels. Again, the studio, when we got Jim, they said, who do you want? I said, I want Jeff Daniels. They said, what? No, he's not a comic actor. I said, he's a great actor. He's not writing it. He's just acting it. And they were like, no. And they fought us until Jim said no. He read with him and said, this is the guy. We won because Jim supported us. But I've always felt that, like any good actor. So I knew Viggo. I've seen him in enough things to know he hasn't really done a big comedy, but I knew he could. I knew he could knock it out of the park because he's so good.
I mean, Italian. We have so many Italian
Yeah.
actors. You would think you'd pick one of those guys, but you didn't. Which I love it.
I did. You know, I was struggling with that. Like, I did look around at, like, you know, who would that guy be? And I actually at one point was talking to Travolta, because I love Travolta, but he just seemed a little older.
Right.
And you know, yeah. So no, I just knew he would be the right guy.
He's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. He gained 45 pounds for the role too. Yeah. And
What a great movie.
He was just unbelievable. Like, you know, he's the guy he crossed the T's, dots the I's. You know that little rock in the movie, The Greenstone? Like, you know, he read the script and then he comes in one Saturday, we're in pre-production, he's got like 30 of them. And he's like, hey, I went around town, we're in New Orleans. He goes, I went to like 20 places, I got these. And he lays them out and they're all different sizes. He goes, which one do you like? I was like, which one do you like? And he goes, I really like this one. I said, let's use that one. But he went, like, he wanted to know which rock, you know. He really wanted to think about it, like have the exact right one. He wore the, you know, the crucifix that the real Tony Lip wore. You know, he gained 45 pounds. You know, he did everything.
It's unbelievable. There's so many beautiful lines in the film, but certainly, I mean, it just grabs you. It's so heartwarming. It's so positive. But there's a line that once I heard it, it just hit me, which was, falling in love with you was the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
That might have been in the actual letters.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, we had 67 letters from that trip because it actually went over a year, that trip. We did the first part of it that ended on Christmas Eve, but they continued. And we just moved and put things in the order we wanted to put them in. We didn't hold to how it went. It wouldn't have been as interesting. And so we moved them around, and yeah, I think it might have been in one of the letters.
I think Nick said
Yeah.
that it was falling in love
Well,
with
the
you.
first letters were like literally like, hi, I'm in Macon. I love you. Kiss the kids. And then you could see it gradually get better and better and better.
And that's Doc Shirley.
Yeah.
A Mahershala performance. Let's hear it for him, Academy Award winner. You directed a man who won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
There's very few directors, you know, who can say that, and you can do that. I mean, that's an incredible performance, especially the one outside the car, when he talks about, I'm not white enough, I'm not black enough. I mean,
No, he's amazing. He's amazing. They're both unbelievable. You know, that's why at the end when we won the thing, I pointed out Viggo because Mahershala has his Oscars, and Viggo didn't get it. And I wanted to point out that, you know, he was the first guy on board. And, you know, we didn't have anybody. We had the script. We couldn't get a studio to have any interest in it. I wrote a long letter to Viggo, got it through his agent, like, you know, please read the first 30 pages. This is a departure for me. I just see you doing this. And he read it right away, and he came back, and he was like, I don't know if I could do this. He's like, I don't look like that guy. I said, nobody knows who he looks like. You're not playing Abe Lincoln. You know, like, what does that mean? He goes, yeah, but I want to look like that. I want to feel like the guy. I go, well, put on a fat suit. He goes, I don't do that. He goes, I want to feel that weight on me. I want to feel it. I don't want to.
45 pounds.
Yeah.
He ate a lot of pizza.
He ate everything.
He ate everything.
He ate everything.
Oh my God.
And by the way, he's as good a guy as you would hope he would be, Viggo. I hate to break it to you.
No, he's the sweetest.
Like, I'll call him on a Saturday and like, hey, what are you doing? He goes, I was just writing some poems. Like, you're what? He goes, I'm just sitting here writing some poems. I was like, okay, well, we're going down to the bar if you want to join us. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll come by after when I wrap this up. Okay. Yeah, like,
We have a lot of actors here who, we have about 50 actors from 20 countries.
Mm-hmm.
And what piece of advice would you give actors when they come to LA? What would you tell them? What are some of the things that what are 3 pieces of advice you would say? Listen, if you're in LA, here are 3 things you should do.
Ooh, boy, that's a tough one. I always feel like, you know, the actors, it's in some ways hardest for actors because it's hard to get better if you're not working. You know, unless you're taking classes like this, or you're you know in a acting workshop, stuff like that. I always would recommend you do that because as a writer, I know I improved a lot. It took me 9 years to get a movie made, but I wasn't as good in the beginning as I was at the end because I just kept writing, and I got better and better and better. And you know, so any chance you can to keep acting. I don't care what you're doing, like in some workshop with friends, whatever you do, it's going to help. You're going to improve. That's number one. And the other thing is, if you could find, like, you really got to, control your own destiny. And it is, and so I would say, just always be looking for scripts. Find a script. Like, there's a million writers out here. You probably know a lot of them. Read their scripts. Find something. It's like, or write your own script if you can. I mean, it's not for everybody. But if you can, it's just like I always say, it's the Wes Anderson, Owen Wilson school of getting into business. They just wrote a little short, they made it, and they put it in film festivals all over. It got some attention. People were like, well, that's good. Maybe you should turn that into a feature length, and that was Bottle Rocket. And so they didn't sit around waiting for it to happen. Same thing with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They went off and did it. It's like it's hard to get noticed. And so anything you could do, and by the way, not everybody can write, and if you can't, don't. Seriously, don't waste your time. Find somebody who can, and find a script or a role that you like, and then, you raise a couple grand and you go off and you make your little thing and you try to catch lightning in a bottle. Just find some little thing. It can happen, but don't wait around. Like, make it, I just always encourage people to take control.
And create your own opportunities.
Yeah.
Write, do whatever, reach out, make things happen.
Yeah. Like, there's just people, like, like when I remember, like, just meeting, like, when I met an actor, like, when you get out, you meet people, you meet a lot of people, find out, what do you do, writer? Can I rerun these scripts? Boom. I like this, or find somebody, just try to find something that you can do, but also work as much as you can. I don't care, just keep it working, because you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow by just thinking about acting for 6 months. You're going to grow by acting, and you're going to grow as a writer by writing, and
And you just got to grow, period, as
Yeah.
a human being. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. How do you think it shaped you in some way? How did your upbringing shape you? You lived in a small town.
Yeah.
You didn't see many films.
No.
There's you saw 2 films a year or something.
Yeah.
So you didn't even see that many films. And how do you think that shaped you? Because you have sort of that, your family, your parents?
I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
It was a traditional, in that time, childhood where you did something wrong, whoosh, knock it off, get a backhand from the old man. But it wasn't like people, like I tell my wife that today, she said, oh, I said, no, but it's like never for nothing, It was like if I was really out of line, I'd get back of the head, come on, knock it off, But I always knew that, I felt I had a very secure childhood. I had, parents married, 5 kids, father doctor, mother nurse. It was. I always felt, hopeful, and I felt like a disappointment, of course, most of those years, because I was always not. The number one thing in my family was grades. That was it. If you had, they judged you on your grade. So I was at the bottom of the barrel. We like her little ass, him, and that guy, idiot.
And so how is it now with the family? Are you like a star in the family? Things change?
I'm telling you the truth. From the moment when I decided to become a writer, I think I earned my parents' respect at that moment. Whether it ever worked out, they were like, good for you. I remember I was embarrassed to tell them, because I said, what, you dope? Don't be an idiot. But they were like, really? Okay, good. They were happy that
you found something that you liked.
Something that I was going to go for. I had never, I'd never gone for it, and that's what you guys were all doing, and that's the hardest part.
Going
is to
the
make that commitment. That's the hardest thing, and that separates you from 99% of the world. Is they can't do that. They don't have the nerve. They don't. It's just too scary. And when I made that jump into the unknown, there was like, I think that at that moment forward, they from then on, I had their respect.
What is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Oh boy. Okay, well, the best piece of advice I've ever been given, one of them was, okay, as a writer, this is really good advice. My agent told me this. I used to send out scripts. I said, hey, we're trying to make this script. Do you want to read it or something? And my agent said, don't ever say you're trying to make the script, because they think you can't make it, that you're having trouble making it. You're trying, it's not getting made. And so people think if they need me to get this made, it can't be very good. So we'd always send out and say, we're making this script. And he said, just say you're making it. I said, yeah, but that's not true. He goes, how much money you got in the bank? I was like, I don't know, $1,200. He goes, and you're making it for $1,200. Wow. That's what you're making it for. So in your head, you're making it. Okay. So from that point forward, we send out, and that started with Dumb and Dumber. It's like, we're making this movie, you want in? Well, no one wants to miss the train. Now they're like, I better look at this. They're making it.
They're making a film, right?
Yeah, I better take a look. And that's the truth. And suddenly, people were looking at the thing. We weren't saying we're trying to make it. We're making it. You want in? You know, people started looking at it. I'll tell you that my other advice, and it goes back, it's just common sense, of course, but if you get ever in a position to be able to make a movie, you must treat everybody, you know, of course this makes sense to everybody, but you've got to go out of your way to make everybody feel like part of the process. You know, and if you do, they're going to all work as a team. But if you act like you're the big, you know, leader guy, and you know it's all up here, and you're the genius, and they're just doing your little thing, ain't working. And if you ever snap at anybody, the thing falls apart. And you, by the way, when you're making a movie, you get edgy. You know, all day long you're getting, you know, you have these long days and people come, what about this? How about that? And then all of a sudden the hair woman comes over. She goes, hey, what do you want the cop's hair to look like? I'm like, you want to go, how about like a fucking cop? But you go, you pick it. Okay. And they go off, you know. But if you snap at her and say, are you a fucking idiot? I got fucking, what is the cop here? Don't do that. You know, well, it's all over. Yeah. Because it goes like ding, 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 ding. And she's working on the actor, and she's, I don't like him. And the actor's like, what? He's nice to me. Yeah, he's nice to you. He's not nice to me. And then there's like this feeling of like, everything goes apart, you know, and you never do that. You know, you treat everybody, you know, and sometimes you know, you're under stress. So you've seen, you know, videotapes of people losing it. Don't.
Try not to.
We are so honored that we have an Academy Award winner. And what I want to know is, what was that experience like when they're calling out your name and you're coming on? Because it could have been this other film,
yeah.
You know, there was a thing. And we were really, I mean, as I said, I was supporting you because I love it and I think it's such an important film. Tell me, what was it like to win an Academy Award? What is... tell me when you come going up.
You know, it was surreal. Like, it still feels surreal. You know, it's been,
2 days?
3 days, 2 days, whatever.
3 days,
What's today? Wednesday, 3 days. Yeah, it's and everybody, everywhere I've gone, you know, people are like, you know, it hasn't sunk in for me. For my friends, they're more excited. Like, I saw he made a video of him watching at his school, or, you know, at UCLA, and there was like 10 guys, you know, throwing shit upside down. But I'm thinking like, okay, get your shit together, your talking points. You know, don't fuck up. Don't lose this. Don't forget that. And come up and you know, just don't forget to say the right thing. So I'm just thinking that, like, don't mess up. Don't mess up. Get up there and do your right thing. And they tell you, from the moment, you know, when you go to the Academy breakfast, like a month ago, they say, luncheon. They say from the moment that they call your name, you have a minute and a half, and that's including the walk up. So you're running up. You're like, you know, you want to get up there, and you know, it really, honestly, it probably hasn't hit me, and it probably won't hit me for another week or two.
Yeah.
It's
unbelievable, but you also won 2. You didn't. Yeah. Let's see for 2-time winner.
Bernard early on was saying, you're going to win the Academy. I don't know about that. You know, it's like, yeah, no, you guys are going to win. I was like, you know, there's so many good movies out there. Roma, you know, Roma could, you know, there's...
Roma's got, you remember, $80 million of publicity. And,
but it's also, I mean, the way that guy's genius, you know. Yeah. He's unbelievable. Like, if they won, I would have been very happy.
No, I know you would. Yeah. You have that spirit, but I just had a feeling that you were going to win.
Yeah.
And I saw you when I saw you in the Golden Globes. We talked about it. And so,
It's nice. It is great. But I'm telling you, like, it's an amazing thing. You know, it just is. But it's not like, again, it wasn't like something my whole life was dreaming about. Like one of my producers, he was like, I've dreamt about this since I was 6 years old. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, what are you dreaming? He goes, to win an Oscar. I was like, really? That wouldn't have been something I ever thought. I'm happy to have it. Very happy.
No. Listen,
but
from now on, you'll always be an Academy Award nominated.
Let me tell you something
winner.
else too. This is important. When I was in your spot, when I was like, coming up, bringing it up, I was having a ball. I was really having fun. Like, you guys you deserve to have fun because you're brave. And don't torture yourselves. Like, you've made this thing, so enjoy your lives. You've done it, you've made this commitment, and you should be real proud of yourself. But also, like, don't beat yourself up if you're sleeping in till 11 because you're up 2 in the morning working and you're thinking, I shouldn't be sleeping till 11. Most people are at work now. Fuck them. You've done, like, I would work till 5, 6 in the morning and then sleep till like 3 in the afternoon. I could hear cars going like, kids coming home from school. And there's that little part of you thinking, you should get up. This isn't healthy. But you should enjoy your lives because you really don't wait to enjoy yourself. Because I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I was just as happy before I ever made a movie as after I made a movie. There's no extra happiness. It's great to make a movie, but it's the same amount of happiness that you're going to feel before. So if you're not happy now, it doesn't suddenly, you don't make a movie and suddenly become really happy. You've got to find happiness. It comes from another place. It doesn't come from making movies, and it doesn't come from the Oscars. Like I told my wife's like, where are we going to put him? We're going to put him on the bookshelf. I said, no fucking way. I'm putting him in a drawer somewhere and hiding him away because I don't want my kids walking in that house thinking like every day, like, oh, that's what we're striving for. No, that's not what they're striving for. They're striving to be who they are. No.
Let's hear it for Farrelly!